Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Speaking on Anime. We are talking about a fantastic anime tonight called Jujitsu Kaisen. This is one that I believe my son got me into originally. I think I may have heard about it before, but he was kind of the driving force behind me actually watching this one. Um, and I am so glad I did. The sad thing is, there's only one season of this right now, so you can't watch a lot of it. But trust me, what you do get to watch, you will want to watch it over and over and over again. It is an excellent story, very good. Speaking of the person who got me into this anime, I'm going to bring him in so he can help me talk about this subject tonight. So, if you guys would all welcome Spartan 072.
Hello. Glad to
Hey,
be
how are you
here.
doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Good. So, when was the first time you saw this anime? Do you remember?
Uh 2021 sometime, I think.
This
I don't
is-
know. One of
That
my
was
friends told me about
just
it and
last
got me
year.
into it. Yep, last year
Okay,
sometime. Probably towards the middle of the year.
maybe I saw it before you did. Then I
I
don't.
have I don't know.
I get confused with who's told me about what and which anime I need to watch next. I have this huge list that I'm constantly trying to go through and
Everyone
catch up.
does.
And yeah, and then I end up just going, yeah, but I want to watch that one over again. So I end up going back and just
Yeah.
rewatching my favorites. So, which is kind of the trap with anime. Um, so this anime is kind of similar. It reminds me a little bit of Bleach. I don't know if you've ever watched that
I've
particular
seen
anime.
I've seen some of that. Haven't seen
It
everything they've got it out of it.
Yeah, it's not like it's not one of my favorites. It just seems like there are some similarities between the two of them.
You
But
could
this
see
one
that.
is this. So the story behind this one is basically there's a society that takes on and takes out curses, and there's different levels of curses that they have to deal with. And these people who fight these are called jujitsu sorcerers. Um, and so that's their whole purpose, is that they go around and kill these curses. So do you remember where the curses come from?
They come from human fears
Hmm.
or like human emotions. That's kind of where they're derived from and created. I think it is fear and negative emotions in
Yeah, fear
general.
and negative emotions like hatred and stuff like that, is where they get their start. And then the longer it goes on, the more powerful they become and stuff. And they can, like, the curses can actually do things that will actually make them more powerful, like killing people or getting hold of more powerful cursed objects and stuff. They'll actually become more powerful. So there's different levels of curses, and there I can't remember, they describe it in the because the main character, whose name, Uchidori, or Yuji Ichidori, he he's just kind of an average guy who gets thrust into this. And there's another character, each Ijichi. He's kind of the assistant guy that does all the running for him. um he's like, because Ichidori's like, what are the levels of curses? And he's like,
Okay,
okay, and he holds up this
I
thing.
got it.
I got this idiot's guide to
So it's grade 4, a wooden bat is enough.
Mhm.
Grade 3, if you have a gun, if you have a handgun, you can rest easy. Semi grade 2, close call with a shotgun. Semi grade 1, even a tank might be insufficient. Special grade, cluster bombs might work. And that's making it so, like, instead of curse levels, it's using our technology. So
Yeah,
Ichiji, Itadori can understand, since he doesn't, and also us as the audience
yeah.
can understand
It's
the
it's
difficulty.
it's really funny though how they're talking about it and stuff. But I mean, that's one thing I do love about this anime. Some of them, they just kind of expect you to know, and they don't always give you all the information. Usually, you can glean that throughout the anime, but this one, they kind of bring you in and get you up to speed using the main character to do it. Hey, Lady Miss,
Hello,
welcome.
lady.
Thanks for coming. But yeah, no, it's so fun. I don't know. This is it's a serious anime, but it's got a lot of humor and other aspects to
I
it.
think
Which,
most good anime have that kind
yeah,
of seriousness, but also like that letting loose
yeah,
at times because it they know they might die at any time, so just kind of got to be a little goofy at times.
yeah. And it keeps it from getting too serious, and it kind of helps make light of the stuff that might not be.
So light.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of lightens the mood when things are getting almost too tense. It's like that. It's like having that buddy who, like, right in the middle of a horror movie, turns to you and just like, "Hey, did you hear the one about the?" And he starts telling you a joke because he can see you're about to pee your pants. It's kind of like that. They take the stress out of the moment, because this anime deals with some fairly dark aspects of humanity,
Hmm.
which is basically the whole story behind how curses are created, like you said. So, I mean, it is going to get into the darker aspects of humanity because that's what's creating the problem. And so, and it also kind of talks about that, like during different times of the year, it gets worse. Like through the winter seasons when people are trapped inside and the weather's bad and stuff, like there's an uptick in the amount of curses that are created because people are having a harder time and struggling with things, and stuff. And the thing I love about the curses is, like, they're these creepy, horrible looking things, but they say the most mundane stuff. It's like there's this one curse, he's just like,
Would you like a receipt?
that's exactly the one I was going to say. Because
I
it's
think
just
that's
like,
the
it kills me. And then there's like another one, he's just like, can you tell me the time? And so it's all of these mundane things that are aspects of human life that have boiled over, and the curses actually say that stuff, and you're just like, did he just say what I thought he said? And that's usually the lower grade curses that are doing that. Like the special grade curses can get to where they can actually, like, communicate
they're
almost in a
intelligent
human way.
enough that
Yeah,
they can speak.
it's like they gain their own consciousnesses, where most of them are just like, they're just evil things that are out to kill people or damage people or make them sick, and stuff. So let's do a quick introduction of the main characters. So the main characters that you're gonna see, the primary one that this story centralizes around is Yuchi Ichidori. We've already talked about him. Then we've got Megami Fushiguro, which is, he's another student at the school, because that's basically they're like high school kids, that are training to become jujitsu sorcerers. But it's not like a lot of anime does around, like, junior high level and middle school and stuff. This is like older kids. This is like almost ready to graduate from high school type of kids. So
It also
it's
makes
not,
sense
yeah, it's not geared towards younger people.
because
This is something that older kids and older adults can really get into.
especially since it makes sense for them to be older, because if they were younger, some of this dark stuff would be a lot darker, and two, the physical aspect is they're much more mature physically and
Right.
mentally to better handle this kind of stuff, whereas a child or someone in middle school or junior high probably might not be as mature enough to understand and cope with some of the things they go through.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so, I mean, it really is, because I watch a lot of just everything, younger anime, older anime, like scary, like everything. And this is one that sometimes you're like, okay, I don't want any more of the middle schooler stuff. I want to have, like, older. It's like the difference between My Hero Academia and Tokyo Ghoul. It's like, this is kid stuff. This is like, don't show this to children stuff. Um, so the other main character that you're going to see is Nobura Kusakage. She's a girl. I like her character. She's a little vain, but kind of in a self-deprecating, fun way. And she's got some really cool techniques that she uses that I really
She's
like.
also like fairly girly, but also fairly like tough.
Yeah, she's a tough chick. That's the best way to describe her, and it's just she's a lot of fun. And then there's probably one of my favorite characters in this, and that's Gojo, or it's a Satori Gojo. He's like the main teacher who's teaching Ichidori how to be a jujitsu sorcerer.
I think he's the only teacher at the what is this? The Tokyo Jujitsu High.
Oh yeah. Well, there are others, but it's like you don't like it. There are others that looks like in the manga, but like he's the main one, and then the principal of the school are really the only ones you see. But yeah, so and the principal is I'm gonna slaughter this one. This is like Masamichi Yagura, and
I think it's Yaga, not Yagura.
Yeah, Yaga. They pronounce it differently in the anime. I don't know why, but it's like anyway. But he's just this. He is not what you would expect from a principal. Let me put it like that. He is very like really aggressive and really just like over the top and stuff. And he makes these
think like a biker
creepy dolls that he imbues with cursed energy to help him fight. So it's kind of, he's a very different kind of principal, but it's kind of cool. And then there's, here's another one I'm going to slaughter. Kayokatacha Ichichidi. I can't say it. He's the one who's kind of the gopher guy. He's the assistant who you see with Ichidori quite a bit. And then there's some others, but they don't really make an appearance in the anime, at least up until this point. I think they're more in the manga. Then probably one of my second favorite characters is Maki Zenin.
Zenin.
Yeah, Zenin. Thank you. She's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I just if you watch the intro to this show, you see her doing some of her stuff. She uses cursed weapons, which is a lot of it. She's using a long staff that it's so fun to watch her do that. I'm just like, yeah, to smack myself in the face like 6 times by now if I even tried something like, it's like Jedi level kind of stuff, How did he do that without cutting his own leg off?
I think we should also point out she doesn't have any actual curse energy herself.
Right. Yep,
she has to use special glasses that are imbued with curse energy to even see curses.
Yep.
But she's physically stronger and more capable than most people.
Yeah, and then she has to use the cursed weapons to actually defeat the curses, because that's really you can. I think there's ways to kill curses otherwise, but like
no, I think you have to use cursed energy.
Is you have to have cursed energy. Then there's and these are the second year students. You meet them about 5th or 6th episode in, yeah. And it's Togi. Am I saying that right? Togi Ichimaki. I like him because his power is the voice. Like if he speaks, it happens basically. And because it's so powerful, he can't talk regularly. So the only thing he can say is like the ingredients for rice cakes. So he'll be like, somebody will be asking him something.
Salmon roe.
Like, salmon. Mochi flakes and you're just like, all right then. So,
and yet some of the students seem to like grasp what he's saying, and it's like, oh, it's one of these kind of characters. It's like R2D2. Beep, 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 beep. Yes, that's right, R2D2. We do need to go do such and such.
Yeah. He's like,
how did you understand that?
He's like the Lassie in this show. The dog barks, and he's like, "What? Timmy fell down a well?" And then it's like, I don't think that's what he said. Okay, but Lady Miss. So I hope I'm not. Trust me, Lady Miss. Even talking about this, we're not really spoiling anything. I don't think we're going to go into major spoilers. We're just going to talk overview and stuff like that. So trust me, this is one based on kind of the things that you've talked to me about, you would like this one. I think you would really like this one. It's just a all-around good anime, and the story is really compelling. It really does kind of suck you in. The next character is Panda, which he is exactly what he seems to be. He's a corpse, but he's been imbued with cursed energy. But he grows up, he gets older.
I think it's a cursed corpse, and that's what the dolls that the president or the principal does, and he created Panda.
Right, the principal of the school did. And then there's another student, but I've never seen him in the anime so far. They talk about him a lot, is Yuta Okidatsu. But like for some reason they talk about him, but you never see him.
I think the story they gave was he was suspended.
Yeah.
For something or other, and that's why you don't meet him.
Yeah, so you don't meet him in this anime, or at least this season, but you may before too long. So there's a lot of other characters. Some of the other main ones, I'll just go through them real quick. There's Ani Todo. I don't know how you say his first name.
It's Aoi Todo.
Oh, Aoi Todo. Yeah, he's this great big, super buff guy, and he's really funny. He is just kind of an eccentric, crazy character. But
no, there's not more than one season at the moment.
Yeah, they are in the process of making more seasons.
Yep. From what I can find, it's either going to be like late 2022 or early 2023. That's the best I've found so far. But there's a ton of manga, so
yeah,
they got plenty of stuff to get stuff. Plus, it's been popular enough that they should definitely get a second season at least.
Yeah, it's the only place I've found this to watch right now, at least one of the places in English, is I found it on HBO Max. I was trying to think if I've seen it.
It's on Crunchyroll.
Funimation, but
I don't know.
It was, and then it wasn't, and now I don't know if it is again. So yeah,
it is on Crunchyroll. I think there's an English version there.
Okay, so there's at least two places you can go to find it, Lady Mist. And then one of the other main professor, well, he's not a professor, but he's a jujitsu sorcerer who helps Gojo with training Ichidori. And that's Kento Nanami. And I love that he's really serious. Like, he's a super serious guy, and he's really hard to get a read on. And the one assistant guy is terrified of him. It makes me laugh because at one point he calls him and he's like, oh no, because he's supposed to be with Ichidori and he's not. They're separated, and he's like, oh no, he's calling me before I thought he was. He's got to tell Nanami that he's not with him, and so yeah,
that he lost Yuji.
Yeah, and so it's just, there's a lot of fun stuff going on in the background there, but with those two. But so those are really a lot of the main characters that you're going to see as you start this. But the main story, like I said, it kind of begins with Ichidori gets kind of pulled into this world almost against his will. It's by accident, really. He's in an occult club in high school. And Megami Fushiguro, which is the other student that is with him most of the time, kind of becomes his buddy, goes to this school where he's going to high school to get a cursed object. It's a special grade cursed object, which they use to ward off lesser curses. Only to find that the special grade curse item is gone. And because of that, he has to go looking for it. He's trying to find things. And he runs across Ichidori, who has the box that this special grade item was in. So he's chasing him, thinking he's got the item. Come to find out, he's given it to the occult club. and they're meeting in a high school, and some stuff happens, and that's I don't want to give too much away, but that's how he ends up getting involved with the jujitsu sorcerers, because at the beginning of this, he is not one. His mother and his father are both dead. They both passed away, and he loses his grandpa right at the very beginning of this, which is his last family member. And he kind of promises his grandpa that he's going to make something out of his life, or that he will help people. And because of that promise to his grandpa, that's one of the reasons he gets pulled into this world. So what are some? So am I missing anything there, Spartan? Or
about how it all starts? No, that sounds about right.
okay, yeah. And if there's anything you want to add, just jump in at any point, because I know there's going to be things that I will miss going through this.
The only thing I can really think of with this whole thing is the track or the gym teacher trying to get Yuji to join them because of his physical abilities, and they're wanting to shut down the occult club.
Yeah, and then Ichidori is really strong, just physically strong as a kid. You know, with no.
They say a few things that he's done. Like I think one of the students, when you as a pass by, he like raced a car or something like that.
Oh, he says he did the like quarter mile, the standing quarter mile in like, I can't remember, like 3 seconds, and the kid's like, "That's faster than my car."
Yeah,
which I thought was good. And then so this coach is trying to get him out of the occult club and into the track and field, so he can do stuff. So he challenges him to a shot put competition. Whoever wins gets to decide what he does. So this coach is like supposed to be really great at this shot put thing. So he does his shot put, and he's like, "Yeah, beat that." Ichidori's like, "Hey, does it matter how we throw this?" And he's like, "No, I don't care. You can throw it however you want." So
he just throws it like a baseball.
Throws it like a baseball, and it goes clear outside the like area and crushes part of the soccer goal.
And the face of the guy is just complete and utter shock, and the students are taking pictures of this, and it's
the coach's expression is just like, and all the kids are like taking pictures of him and getting selfies with him because he's frozen in awe that he just got his butt kicked by this teenager. Is really funny. But yeah, and that's like I say, there's a lot of like fun aspects that really go into this anime. And the story is, like I say, it gets kind of dark. They go on a mission to kind of so there's kind of a schism, because what happens, I won't tell you exactly how it happens, but Ichidori ends up ingesting a cursed item, which becomes part of him. And so he kind of is given a death sentence. Like they're like, "Well, this is part of you now. This is a special grade curse. This is really bad. And we're going to have to execute you." But Fushiguro wants to save him, and he tells Gojo that. And so Gojo kind of works out a way for him to live, and try and eat the rest of these cursed items, so that when he dies, he'll take this curse with him. So it's kind of sad at the same time, but it's like they're trying to keep him alive at the same time. And I think the hope is that they'll somehow be able to kill the curse without killing him, although it's never said throughout this. But so that's what so they start training him to be a jujitsu sorcerer, which, I mean, today when I was rewatching it, I was thinking, is that a good idea? Do you train the guy who has a horrible curse inside of him to be more powerful?
Yeah,
but I mean,
it doesn't really
at the same time, they're separate beings. You know, they're in the same body, but they actually are separate beings. So just because Ichidori gets powerful doesn't really affect this cursed spirit.
No, Sukuna is much more powerful.
Yeah, he's called the king of all curses. We'll just tell you. Let me find it. I can't remember what his name is.
It was
Or I'm
Skuna something.
Sakura. That doesn't sound right. Yeah, that's it. I know. I'm sorry. Sometimes I terribly, terribly, horribly butcher these names. But when you watch the anime, you'll be like, "Oh, that's what he was talking about. He wasn't even close." Sorry, I'm not Japanese. I don't do the pronunciations that well sometimes. But there's a whole bunch of different curses that come into this that has that they've got personalities and stuff. There's one called Gojo, which is the like almost complete opposite of Gojo. But he's called Jogo, sorry.
Yeah, I'm like,
I
you
think I
might have
just
said
said
the
the
exact
same
same
thing,
thing
but
there. And then you said it right, and you're like, oh, whoops.
I knew I'd get it. I knew I'd get it eventually. But he's kind of funny. He's just kind of a really impulsive curse, and he's only got like one eye, but it's really expressive the way they draw him and stuff. It is just really funny.
And he's got
But
a
then the other
volcano head.
curses are just creepy, but like powerful, and they really bring something unique whenever they come in to the mix. And there's just so there's so many different stories that it's hard to try and talk about this without giving away
too much.
Because it's just wait a minute, I really do try, and like if I had just watched it like 10 minutes ago, I was gonna say I'd probably get it, but no, I probably
You might remember the name better, but you might not. It might not come
still
out any
probably say
better.
it wrong. Because it's like I hear them all the time, but I never really say them myself, and so until you start saying it, like your mouth can't. So, it's like Japanese people trying to pronounce English words. That's why they have such a because you're using different parts of your mouth. So it's why German sounds so much different, because most of German is being spoke from the back of the throat, as where English really isn't. English is spoken very much from the tip of the tongue. So, and that's coming from my mom, who is a speech pathologist. So, so that's why I know more about that than I probably should. But yeah, no, it's sounds like it's worth watching. Yeah, I've done that. I've been like, "Ooh, this looks really good." Oh wait, I've watched this before. Oh, watch it again. But yeah, no, it is really good. I don't think you'll regret watching it. So I don't know if there's much more I can say on this anime without getting too deep into it, because the story is it's not complicated, but there is a lot to it.
It's deep in how
it's
it
quite
is.
intricate and stuff like that, but it's nothing like you're going to struggle to keep up with. It flows, it makes sense. It's just, it really kind of sucks you in. The style reminds me of the animation style from oh, I just lost the name of it, because if I hadn't wanted to, Parasite, that's what it is. It has a very similar anime style or animation style to Parasite, if you've ever watched that, which I like that. That is another great anime that I did a review on. So, but yeah, so go check this out. Let me know what you think. Tell me, whether you like this or didn't like it, because I'm so often surprised by how good anime is, and how different their storylines often are to anything we get in the West. Very unique, very very different culturally. Like the Japanese culture kind of seems to spiral a lot around like curses and demons and spirit world kind of stuff, and that becomes very much a theme.
Getting sent to another world.
Yeah. But
which a lot of considering that a lot of anime follow a very similar style, like the isekai, where they're sent to another world. Like there's like dozens and dozens of those kinds of anime, but
Yeah.
each one is different and intricate and interesting in their own way. Like ReZero cannot be compared to what's I just lost the name of it.
That's the great thing about live streams. You sit there and try to remember right at that moment.
What's the one with Megumin?
Which one?
Konosuba. That's what it's called.
Oh.
Like, those two can't be compared. Like, they both get sent to another world, but they're both so different.
Yeah. No, it is. That's they're a lot of them will tread similar ground without repeating them, without stealing somebody else's thunder or repeating those same stories over again. And it's clever and it's inventive, and they're always doing something a little different, and or they'll use like a similar story, but they'll do it in a different genre. So like instead of it being it'll be a slice of life instead of a shoujo, or it will, you know what I mean? It's just like they'll use, and so it's like a lighter hearted version of something that was much darker in a different anime. But yeah, it's yes. By the way, Lady Mist, I have been watching the beginning. And
I had never heard of that.
I am really liking it. By the way, thank you for suggesting it. I'd seen it, but I'd never watched it yet, and I started watching it this week, and I am absolutely enjoying it. Very good.
I just started watching How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom.
That is a great anime.
Yeah, I've been putting it off for a bit, watching other stuff.
Yeah, that one surprises you too, because you'd think, what? How a Realist Hero? But it's just an interesting take on that subject. Hail Xenocide, thank you for popping in. But yeah, no, it is. But thank you for that recommendation. I am always looking for more different animes to watch. But yeah, so I mean, and I really do. Almost 90% of what I watch now is anime.
Unless you're same. Unless I'm rewatching something that I watched a while ago that I'm like, oh yeah, I really like that, so I'll go watch that again.
Or like Big Bang Theory. I'll watch Big Bang Theory, or I'll watch, But I mean, that really is about the 10%. Like I've been watching the Boba Fett show and stuff like that, but
I've heard that's not that good.
I mean, it hasn't been that great until about midway through the season, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is getting good again. But it's because the Mandalorian comes in and it turns into the Mandalorian, not the Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett. So it's just like, why did we do the Book of Boba Fett thing when the Mandalorian was better? So yeah, anyway, but it's just but I really have cut down. Oops, I hit the wrong button there. But yeah, no, it's so I mean, it's always good to have those different, and that's why I do these shows, is to help other people hear about animes that maybe they haven't heard about yet, and to talk about them and get people, more information about why they might want to go try this out. Because there's a lot of people, I mean, I didn't try anime for years and years and years because I remembered the anime when I was a kid not being very good. Or I liked American cartoons better than I liked anime. And now I've completely flipped. I can't hardly even stand to watch American cartoons now because it's just stupid. The animation style is pathetic and cheap.
Like, they're so ugly looking.
Yeah,
and
everything
horrendous.
And it's like stupid. It's been all dumbed down. Like, and parents suck.
Oh yes,
adult figures are horrible. Oh, it's just anyway. The Beginning is on Netflix. It says it's a Netflix original, but I don't think the first season was, because I saw that on a different service originally, and I think Netflix must have came in and either bought it or got the rights to show it on Netflix, and now they're producing it, but it's good. But yeah, the Beginning is on there, and it is very good. So that's do you have any other thoughts on Jujitsu Kaisen? We're going to end a little early today, but I'm afraid of giving too much away, and I don't want to ruin this because it is just too good to spoil.
I just want to say that the fighting scenes in this is like just amazing
Mm.
because there are various anime that, especially in the first season, the fights aren't so good. Like Black Clover, the fights are okay, but they're not as good as in the later parts of the season.
Sorry, lady, this is fun.
Yeah.
So, I
But
think they're a bunch of Steelers.
and
We
then
made this.
like
We made it. Sorry, go
the
ahead.
art style, like how the fights look, reminds me a lot of Demon Slayer with the artistic style that they use. Obviously, it's different, but
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of reminds me of that. It's just so good, and there's at
No,
least one
there is
expectation
amazing
subversion
choreography.
that they do really good in this. I'm tempted to talk about it, but I think that'd be giving away a little too much.
Now, especially when Gojo starts fighting, it gets crazy intense because he is the most powerful jujitsu sorcerer, and he just does stuff that you're just kind of like, oh.
And he's just, and a lot of the time he's just kind of goofing around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean he's a really lighthearted character, but when
Which-
he gets serious, wow.
Which he's so lighthearted because he knows he's strong and he can get away with basically anything he wants to get away with.
Yeah, so I mean, that is true. The fight sequences, the choreography I mean, they must have had martial arts people in there, like doing moves so that they could, and I think they do that a lot of the time. Is they'll bring in martial artists to do the different forms and stuff so that they can, so that they can draw and do it properly because. Animation or anime does this so well. They just really are fantastic about the body forms and the move and the way things move, and it's fantastic. Hail brightest day, thanks for popping in. And female Titan, I love Gojo.
I think everyone does.
No, but it really is just a fantastic anime. I recommend it highly. In fact, I don't do any of these shows. I say that all the time. Go watch it. I love it. And it's just like
I can't do it justice.
Yeah,
explaining
because
it.
I don't recommend anything that I don't really like. Or if I just kind of like it, I'm absolutely honest and I'll tell you this is an all right anime. This isn't the best anime, but most of the time I want to talk about the things that I love because that's what's important. Anyway, so I think that's where we're going to end it. For those of you who have not watched Jujutsu Kaisen yet, watch the outro. I'm going to replay the intro coming into this. The guy that you see at the very beginning of my intro, that is Gojo. And then you will see different
staff around.
You will see different clips throughout this. Spartan 072 actually made this for my intro, which is awesome. It is very good, very well done. When I saw it, I was just like, how come I can't do stuff like
I really wish I did better. There was a few things like I could have done better, but
I think it's epic. I think it's fantastic. So but yeah, so let me get ready for this. So we're gonna play that going out so you can watch parts of this anime without my stream getting shut down or canceled and stuff because we use other background music and we break it up a lot. So but just watch some of the fight sequences. If it's something you don't recognize and you haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen yet, that's probably where it came from. So yeah, let me know what you think whenever you get a chance to watch this. Hit me up on Twitter, Brian the Speaker, and tell me, hey, Brian, that was great. That was awesome. Thank you for recommending that. Or, Brian, you're horrible. I hate you, and I'm never watching anything you recommend again. Anyway, thanks for being here, everybody. I'm sorry this stream came late this week. I was going to try and do it earlier in the week, but I was driving and I got caught in a horrific winter storm that just blasted the Midwest. And it just threw off my entire week. So I apologize for not doing this sooner, but I promised I would do it. So I'm better late than never, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, next week we are going to be talking about Yona of the Dawn, which is one of my daughter's favorites. It's one of my favorites. It's more of a shoujo anime. But it has some great fight scenes and stuff like that. Trying to think of other ways. Just you can get on here and comment on this later, Lady Miss, and just tell me if I'm good or bad at recommending things. You can just make a comment here on this because it goes up on my channel. So yeah, Yona the Dawn is fantastic. It's only got one season, which was so tragic. But I've heard that they might make more. So fingers crossed, because they cut it off at just the worst time.
Oh,
anyway,
they left it on a big old cliffhanger.
Yeah, just things are really getting going, and then it's just like, and it's like, oh, great. Now
what am I going to do with my life? I'm just going to be wondering what happens next. Tell me.
Like Sheldon Cooper off of The Big Bang Theory.
I don't need sleep. I need answers.
Yeah, I need to have answers. What happened? Anyway, but thanks for being here. And let me bring that clip up and show you so that you guys can get a taste for what an awesome anime this is. And we will talk to you next week. I will try and let you know exactly when the stream is going to happen. I just don't know. It's kind of a roving stream through the week. Just depends on how my week goes when I'm in the truck. Next week, the week after this, I will be off all week, so I can give you a little bit better schedule on what's going to happen. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and we will talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.
See ya.